All right, fourth grade, this is the next portion of your pop-up chair art project. So once you have completed all of the coloring on page 1 and page 2, obviously this is a different set. I misplaced my colored version of this, but you understand the fact that this piece needs to be 100% completely colored before you start this next step. If you're not sure if you might mess up on this step, I would definitely recommend maybe printing out a practice paper of this, because this is the paper you're going to be cutting. I'd recommend printing out a practice piece so you can practice the cutting, so you don't actually mess up your nicely finished colored version of your page 1. So if you feel like you need to practice this cutting step, which is basically popping out the chair part of this paper, then I would definitely recommend practicing. So the first thing you're gonna do, you're gonna need your 2 pages, and you're basically only gonna need scissors and glue. So you're going to push your second paper aside and take your first paper. And what you need to do is this line right here separating the wall from the ground. This is where you're going to make a crease. So the easiest way I do this is not by folding it up like this, because I can't really see where my line is if I'm folding it out of my line of vision. So I flip it over, and then I try and make sure this gets creased right here. To the best of your ability, and crease it. And then you need to flip it over and then crease it going this way, because this is the way the paper is going to be at the end. So, like this. Once you have that creased, I want you to fold it back, because we do need it this way first, because we're going to be cutting on the dotted lines only in these 2 places. So if you look, these 2 dotted lines are the same exact length as these dotted lines. So really, we're just gonna take our scissors and cut right through just like that. So we're gonna take our scissors and we're gonna cut completely through up until this dot. It will be the same exact length on the other side. One there, one there. So you're pretty much done with scissors now. You don't need them anymore. What you're gonna do next is, now that you've created this flap of paper, you're going to fold it up, and then you're going to flip over the paper and fold it up again. So now that you've creased it, you can fold it back to the center like this. Now that you've creased these areas here, we've got a crease here, we've got a crease here, and we've got a crease here. These creases help the paper stabilize itself. If there's nice flush creases where all of the in all of the areas that the paper needs to bend, then it's going to have a much easier time of staying up. So I like to make sure I crease and crease and over crease until my paper looks like this. So now I have it like this. And what I need to do is this crease right here, I need to push it up so it comes out of the paper. So basically I put my finger behind it right here and I push it up, and then I grab it and pinch it so it looks like this. Now it's popped out of the paper. Now because we creased here and here, the paper should relatively look nice and neat, but I like to make sure I bring everything down, meaning I'm solidifying this crease, I'm solidifying this crease, and I'm solidifying this crease by folding everything down and making sure it's nice and flat. The nicer the crease, the better this paper is going to stand up. Now you're going to notice that it doesn't stand up very well on its own. That's because it's one flimsy piece of paper. It needs some help. Now that you have your paper like this, it's time to take page number 2 and put it behind page number 1. So basically you need to crease page number 2 the same way you crease page number 1 on this line, fold it back, and then we want to fold it forward so it's in the correct position. Basically, you're going to take page number 1, put it right over top of page number 2, and I like to fold them together just to make sure they're nice and neat. And then you have the chair back and the floor peeking through. And what you're going to do is one side at a time, you're going to take a glue stick, and you're going to put glue everywhere on this page except for the part that's going to show through, because we don't want glue there because it doesn't need to attach. So I make sure I put glue on all of the edges so that everything sticks together the way it's supposed to. Okay? And then I make sure everything is against the crease right here. And then I kind of guide the two papers together and then flatten. And I make sure that every place where I put glue is attaching. So now you have this part of the paper glued together, and so now the paper's a little bit thicker. And once you have one side done, it is so much easier to do the other side. And again, making sure we don't get glue on this portion. Guide them up again. This one you gotta make sure you're being careful. And voila, give it an extra crease. You have your 3D chair. Now, this is pretty much done. It doesn't stand up perfectly on its own, but when you put it up against something, it stands up pretty well. Now, if you like this the way it is, you're pretty much done. You just need to take a picture of it. I recommend taking a video so you can show me the angles, or you can take multiple pictures. One picture like this, a picture showing one side or the other side. It does not matter. You just need to take a picture of it so I can tell that it's been popped out of the paper. So a side angle like this would be sufficient, but a video is always a lot easier because you don't have to attach multiple pictures to the Dropbox. If you want to go the extra mile, you can add a piece of construction paper to the back to give it extra support, like mine. If you remember seeing mine, I put this construction paper backing piece on it, and it helps it stand up very, very well because it's a piece of construction paper and it's thicker than regular paper. So that is an option. It's not required, but if you do want your paper to stand up nice and neatly, that is something you can do. And this is it. The project is finished. Once you're done, make sure you take a picture or a video of your project and submit it to the Dropbox, which should be open by the time you're viewing this video. All right,